A lot of plants in Iowa have different ways of dispersing their seeds. So this one here is just a little weed. We're out here at Scott County Park. This is just some random weed at Scott County Park, and it's gone to seed, and here are the little seeds, and this has little burrs on it. So take a look at what happens. It sticks to my shirt, and the seeds will stay with me. So any animal that might be passing by this plant is going to end up picking up the seeds and carrying the seeds to another location. And then when they clean their fur, they'll distribute the seeds to the new location. And that's how that particular plant spreads its seeds around the environment. This plant here is Trillium. It's called that because its leaves are in nice sets of 3, so it has the tri for trillium. But its seeds, as you can see, are these nice bright red, and they're kind of juicy. This is something that an animal might eat. So the animal would eat it for the juice around the seed, and then poop out the seed later. And that is how that particular seed gets spread out through the forest, is that the animal eats the berry and poops the seed somewhere else. So here are some seeds on a tree that use wind to disperse. Let me show you. Still going. So here, these are pretty well attached at the moment, but as we take these down, notice that they have actual little wings on the seed, and if you drop it, it flutters. Sometimes these flutters, they go straight down, and that's fine, but if there's a good wind breeze, those plants can sometimes travel several miles on the wind and travel away. Some plants use water to transport their seeds. If the seed floats and the seed happens to land in water, the seed will move along the top of the water and find a new location where it can grow its plant. This plant here is jewelweed. It is also, that's a common name, and the Latin name is impatiens. And it's called that because this is one of the few plants that we have in the Quad City area that uses a mechanical seed dispersion, which means that if you touch it, it explodes. You know, not boom, but like the seeds like get pushed out. Let's see if we can find one. Let's see here. What about maybe this one? Oh, there it goes. I touched it and it just popped right open. Do you see that? Let's see if I can find another one. Here's one. Little seed pod here. Touch, touch. And it just kind of explodes. Look, if you look right there, you can see right there, there's one of the seeds that popped out. Right there. That's one of the seeds that pops out of the jewelweed pod. So that is the last one. It's the toughest to find. The plant's called jewelweed as far as like the common name, but the Latin name's impatiens, and I think it's called that because the seeds are impatient to get out. This is thistle. Thistle is really pokey. It hurts. But that's because, and this is the flower, and the seeds are inside of this really, really pokey bit. And so as the really, really pokey bit dries, it sticks to fur and is carried around as a burr to other locations, and that creates the seeds. But it really is pokey. It hurts. It's thistle. This is milkweed. This is a milkweed plant that's past its prime. It's getting ready to disperse its seeds. And this is a milkweed pod, and it's not quite dry yet. What happens is it dries out, and then it cracks open. And when it cracks open, look at what's inside of here. All of these seeds, and every single one of these seeds is connected to a little thing like a threads, like a dandelion. This is a wind-dispersed seed, and it just, even when it's not mature, well, it doesn't fly too good when it's not mature, but it'll fly out and go everywhere. So this is what's inside of this little milkweed pod. Look at all the silks in there. Look at that. So, and then as it dries out, it flies across and is carried by the wind, and so the milkweed plant goes other places. Okay. This plant right here, and if you look around, it's actually everywhere here. This plant right here is called plantain. Plantain is not native to Iowa. In fact, it's not even native to the United States. Plantain, the seeds on it, when they get wet and crushed a little bit, they get sticky, and they stick to wagon wheels. So in England and Europe, when they were starting to colonize the United States, they would roll the wheels over these plants, and the seeds would stick. And then they got on the boat and traveled to the United States, and then when they got here, they wheeled the barrels and they wheeled the wagons off of the boat and planted plantains in America. Plantains really like packed earth. If you notice here, we're on a trail at Scott County Park. People walk on this place all the time. So the earth here is super packed. And so the plantains are everywhere. This plant traveled with the colonists across the United States. So it was on the Oregon Trail. It was on the trails that go all across the United States. The Native Americans saw this plant and said, this plant doesn't belong here. What plant is this? And they made the connection that this plant was only growing on places where the wagon wheels have been. They started calling this plant white man's footsteps because it only grew where the settlers had come across America.